What's up, guys? This is Chris with the FBA Journey. Today we're going to be talking about a couple different tools that we use to find and source products on Amazon.
Okay, let's jump right in. You want to start selling on Amazon, but you're going to need some tools to do that. So what tools do you need to start selling on Amazon? The main tool that you will use to research for products is called JungleScout. Looking at the JungleScout website, they offer two different tools that you're going to be using. They have the Chrome extension and they also have their web app. Both of these tools are very important for when you research products. Let's take a look first at the web app. This is going to be your main tool for doing product research. Now they have three different packages that you can choose from. You can also do it and build annually, or you can do it month to month. In the beginning, I recommend just doing month to month. Choosing an annual billing plan will cost you a lot more upfront, and if you're just setting up your seller account or your business, you don't want any more upfront expenses than you already have. So taking a look at the different plans here, you got the startup, the standard, or the business. Unless you're like hardcore, you have a bunch of different people working for you, you do not need the business. If you run your Amazon selling business as a two-partner business, as we do, you know, the standard plan works perfectly for you because you can have up to 2 users using the web app at the same time. With the startup plan, it's good for if you're just getting into selling and you don't want to shove a lot of money out the door right off the bat, but you're limited to only 1 user at a time. So if you're trying to, or if you have a partner and you guys both want to research at the same time, unfortunately only one of you is going to be able to do it because it's going to keep logging you both out if you try to log in into more than one location at once. So in short, if you're just starting up your business and you're only one person doing it, I would just go for the startup package. If you are 2 people and you guys both want to do research, then go with the standard. It's really up to you on this. Now let's go over and let's take a look at the Chrome extension, which is another handy tool that you're going to want to get. It's going to actually help you do research on Amazon itself. So the Chrome extension has 2 different packages. You can either buy the Pro version or you can buy the Lite version. Now the Lite version, you only get about half the features. You don't get the fee estimator, the opportunity score, and it also doesn't do web app integration, which is kind of handy to have. So the Pro package, you get the full fat package. It's a one-time fee of $197, whereas the Lite is a one-time fee of $97. Now since this isn't a month-to-month thing, you're paying right up front. You know, you have this basically forever. If you ever think that you're going to grow or you're going to want some of these features that the Lite package doesn't have, just go ahead and shovel out the $197 and get the Pro version. It's 100% worth it, and you won't have to go and, you know, buy the Pro version instead later on down the road, which means you would spend an additional $97 than you need to in the beginning. So before you start selling on Amazon, grab JungleScout. That's going to help you research, and purchase the Chrome extension. That's going to help you do a little bit of research on Amazon, see what products are working, see what products aren't working. So let's take a look at another tool. This one's a free tool. It's only available on the Chrome Web Store as far as I know. So you do need Google Chrome to run this plugin, as well as the JungleScout Chrome extension, obviously. So this tool is called FBA Calculator for Amazon. Basically, you can go and search another seller's product on Amazon. Then once you're on that product page, you can pull this extension up and you can see roughly how many sales that they do a month, how much they're making before and after fees. And if you know exactly how much that product costs from the manufacturer that you're going to be ordering it from, you can plug in that price and you can kind of see, get an estimate of what you would be earning if you sold that product for, let's say, you know, X price. So this is a very handy tool. It's free. Grab it. Okay, so once you purchase the JungleScout web app, then you can go over to the product database. So the product database tab at the top, if you click on that, you'll be greeted by a screen just like this where you have categories on the left hand side and some more options over on the right. So I've just selected a few different categories here. You can choose whatever you want to focus on. Do note that some of these categories may be restricted on Amazon. So do a little bit of research, find out which categories are gated on Amazon, and if you want to sell in that gated category, definitely find out what you need to do to sell in that category. But I've just selected a few random options here, some easy stuff that really shouldn't be, a lot of it shouldn't be gated. So over here on the right hand side is for product tier, I've selected standard. You can select oversized, but if you're just starting out, I'd recommend sticking with standard, because if you're buying oversized items such as, maybe a shelf or something like that, and those items don't sell, you can be hit with a lot of fees that just add up really fast on Amazon over time. Storage fees. So I would just recommend selecting and sticking with standard in the beginning. Then later on down the road, as you got some more funds to play around with, you can venture into oversized items. So for the seller, we're going to select FBA and FBM, which is fulfillment by Amazon and fulfillment by merchant. Basically meaning FBA, you send the product into Amazon, Amazon sells that or ships that item and offers support for that item. If you're doing FBM, you are the merchant, you're storing the items at your place of business, your house, wherever. You're shipping those items out to the customers as they order them, and you're offering customer support for those items. If you want some more information on FBA, FBM, check out our first video on why we got into Amazon FBA. That'll give you a little bit more insight. So for the filters down here below that, really there's not a lot of options you need to mess with here. For the minimum price right here at the top, I like to put in a minimum price of at least $10. The reason behind this is on Amazon, if you're selling a product for under $10, you can get slapped with what's called an add-on item. This is something that you really don't want. For our first product, we made this mistake. It got slapped with an add-on item and it just didn't sell very well. So keep your price at at least a minimum of $10. You don't really have to specify a maximum. Why would you want to specify a maximum? Well, I mean, I guess there's reasons, but don't specify a maximum. You don't really need to, unless you're really wanting to narrow down your product range. So down here at the very bottom, set a minimum amount of monthly revenue. So let's say $5,000 is what I have in here for this example. You don't really want to specify a max because, yeah, if your product's making $20,000 a month, yeah, you probably want to make $20,000 a month, huh? So minimum reviews, let's say 0. Max reviews, you really do not want to go over 100 reviews. Let's say maybe a max of 70 for this example. If you get up 100 plus reviews, then that usually means you have a lot of other competition that you're going to have to fight with, and they're already kind of established. So it makes it harder to get into that market. So you want to look for products that have a lower number of reviews. So minimum rating doesn't really matter. Weight doesn't really matter. Minimum amount of sellers, you can specify this, but it doesn't really matter, and it's not accurate 100% of the time. So I just recommend leaving that blank. So let's click search down here in the bottom right and see what comes up. Okay, so we got almost 29,000 results, which is a lot of products for us to look through. So by default, it displays 25 products per page. So let's bump that up a little bit. Let's go to 200 products per page. That way we won't have to change pages that often. Now, everybody looks at the first page. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the very bottom. Actually, let's just hit end on the keyboard. And let's go to a page. Well, let's try page 8. Let's see what's on page 8. So scrolling down here, We tend to stay away from liquids and other consumables because sometimes those items can have restrictions on them or certain specifications that they have to meet. So we tend to stick with more solid items. And I'm not going to go too in depth on this because I just want to get an example for you guys. Let's do this brush. So let's right click here and open a new tab, and that'll bring us to the actual Amazon page for this product. So we can see on here it's doing $11,000 a month, roughly 579 sales a month, and it shows one seller, but we'll see about that when we go on Amazon. So let's go over to the Amazon tab. Let's take a look here. It's Amazon's choice, which that means they have a fairly good listing, and they're selling for $19.99. So let's pull up the Amazon FBA Calculator, which this is the free Chrome extension that we downloaded. So we can see here it says a little bit differently here. It says they're doing about $4,500 a month, but we do not have a product cost plugged in. We don't have a shipping cost plugged in, and we're using their price, so our price may be a little different. So we'll have to go back and get all this information on Alibaba, which is where we're going to be sourcing our products from. That's where we're going to be contacting manufacturers and buying our products from. So let's do this first. We need to figure out if this product's actually a viable product. So let's just find a keyword here. Waves brush by Brush King. Let's just try wave brush and paste. And we got a handful of these brushes. So let's go up to the Chrome extension. So it's this little S here at the top. We're just going to bring it up. It's going to bring up this page and populate everything. And we'll see what it comes up with, an opportunity score and all that. As it's loading, you're going to notice on here there's going to be some products that are doing kind of high revenue, but you're going to want to look over here at the left hand side. If it has this little SP icon, that means it's a sponsored product on Amazon. That means they're paying for it to be on this page. So do pay attention to these, but at the same time don't pay attention to them as much because these can be completely different items than what you're looking for. So like this is a completely different brush, so is that, and that's a different style brush as well, even though it's basically the same thing, just a different design. And like that's a toothbrush. It's a brush, but for your teeth, not your hair. So this is actually a fairly decent product when you first look at it, because you got a 7 opportunity score. It's high demand with low competition. So let's kind of look down through these different listings here. So we see a couple that are doing, upwards of $30,000, which are sponsored products. Now the ones that are not sponsored, we got, so it seems like everything from, here's a 500. What is this? That's kind of the other style brush. Here's one doing 43,000. Let's just go to the top here, shall we? This one's doing a little over 2,000. This one's doing 15,000. This one's about 2,400. This one's about 1,500. So they're doing a decent amount of revenue. They're not doing great. They're not all $10,000 a month, but there's quite a few here that are doing fairly decent. But we need to go farther down the page. We can't just look at the first page. So let's go down here in the bottom left, extract the next page. The next page will really tell you how this product's doing. If people on the if sellers on the second page are doing well, or as well, or decent to the people on the first page, then that means the product's a fairly decent product. So let's just go down here. Let's look. So even people on the, or even sellers on the second page, There's some that are doing decent, but there's also quite a few that are down into the just hundreds. So this one's only doing $81 in sales a month, and well, here's one that's doing $23,000 in sales a month, and that's actually a pretty cool product. It's got kind of the little cutouts there on the wood. It actually looks really nice. Yeah, so this is a decent product, but really only if you can get the product on the first page. On the second page, it doesn't look like you're gonna have. You can get some okay. There's some that are doing okay, but there's some that aren't. So that's something to consider. Okay, so let's say this product actually is a good product. Now we need to find somebody to manufacture this product or to buy this product off of. So we can go over to a website called Alibaba. So in the search bar here, let's just paste in our keyword, which was wave brush. Okay, so we searched our keyword and we've got a couple of results here. So let's look through here. Here's a brush that's kind of like the original brush that we were looking at. It's black. So we got a 3,600 piece minimum order, which is quite high for a minimum order. You typically, for your first order, you don't want to do more than like 100 or 200 pieces. Typically, 100 and something. But of course, you want to make sure that if the supplier does specify, we have to have this amount. If you can talk them down the first time and get 100 and something items, make sure that you earn enough off of those items that you can purchase your second batch, or else you're going to have to do a lot of negotiating with them, which is actually easier than you think it is. We were very skeptical at first, but it is very easy to negotiate with some of these suppliers. They really do want your money, and a lot of them will work with you as long as you're reasonable and you're professional about it. Okay, so we see here that this company has a 1-year gold supplier emblem here, which this is something we want to kind of watch out for, because for the 1-year gold supplier, they can actually buy this. It's not something that's just given to them. They can actually buy the 1-year gold supplier ranking. Now, if they are a company that's been on Alibaba for more than 1 year, they can actually receive this gold supplier emblem. So if we look at the brush down below that, they have a 6-year gold supplier emblem. So I would trust the 6-year way more than I trust the 1 year. Plus, if you look at their transactions, the 1 year that is, for the last 6 months, they only have $700 in transactions, 80% response rate. So it doesn't seem like a lot of people are really interested in doing business with them. And 3,600 pieces for your minimum order, that's quite pricey if you're just wanting to get a sample of this product. So let's take a look at the one right below that. It's a 1,000 piece minimum order. So that's a little bit better. Again, for our first order, we're going to have to talk these suppliers down, because we don't want to order 1,000 pieces right off the bat at 50 cents to $3 a piece. Usually if you're doing, a couple hundred, it may cost you, a couple of dollars for each item. Don't assume that you're going to be able to get 100 items off of them and then they're going to give you those items for 50 cents a piece. Some suppliers may, but some suppliers, they're not going to do that. They're going to want to charge you a little bit more just because you're getting a smaller amount. So these guys, as I said, 6-year gold supplier and 90,000 in transactions over the last 6 months. 97.7% response rate. That means they're highly responsive and they're doing a lot of business. Now, the only thing you got to look out for with this amount of transactions is that means there could be other sellers selling these items as well, or a lot of different companies already selling this item. So that's something you'll have to do a little bit more research on and just kind of find out, this ties back into, is this going to be a good product? Just see if there's any other products that catch your eye. Don't rely entirely on the first page. Always check out a couple different pages. Typically you want to contact 4 to 6 different suppliers at a time. You don't want to just contact one supplier. Don't limit yourself to one person. Get some quotes from other suppliers, see what they can do for their minimum orders, pricing, etc. Okay, so once you've found a couple of different suppliers that you want to talk to, sign up for your account on here, get your information filled out so that you're going to be all ready to go when it's time to place an order. So put in your account details, get a card linked, a bank account linked, whatever. Then you can go through and kind of start choosing which suppliers you want to talk to. Now, we're not going to go too in depth in this video because we kind of just wanted to show you how to get up to this point of sourcing products. In an upcoming video, we'll be going more in depth on how to actually talk to your suppliers and communicate with your suppliers, how to negotiate with them, and etc. So I hope this video has given you guys a basic understanding of how to basically begin doing your product research and sourcing products to sell on Amazon. If you guys have any questions, we do have a new Facebook group. You can join that group. The link is down below in the description. You can also drop questions down in the comments below, or you can send us a direct message on Instagram at the FBA Journey. Alright, and that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Stay focused, keep selling, and we'll see you next time.